Mike's Daily Podcast.
That podcast picture is before I got my Quarantine 15. I was a little bit more svelte. That was 2 years ago.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That's the podcast picture today. Hey, I'm going to record this show. I'm going to use my wonderful thing called the YouTube recorder. And then I'll upload some part of it that's really awesome. Like this part here where I'm singing about great TV shows like Blossom. I never watched that. What was that about? Was that some kind of a...
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Oh, that was a girl with an interesting hat. That's what it was. I love shows about girls with interesting hats. That's a wonderful thing.
Mike's
People should watch those
Daily
type of shows. We need more
Podcast.
uplifting things. And we don't need statues. A statue? We don't need statues. We just need Blossom. We need shows, no statues, just Blossom. Let's make that our new thing. Anyway, this podcast picture is of a cool little spot in the Niles. Niles is in Fremont, if you ever go. It's a nice place to go. Hey, if you can't get there from BART, though, sadly, but Niles is known for its trains. It's got a nice little train station. So you can take the train to all the way to Sunol and enjoy a nice day on the track. I don't know, wait, they may not be doing that right now because of the whole COVID thing. When are we gonna... Oh. That's good. Get you in the mood for riding on trains. Hey, when are we gonna stop going, oh, things are different now. Oh. Can we stop acting shocked that things have changed because of coronavirus? We've had months to adapt to this. Don't say new normal anymore. If you say new normal, I'm going to say...
Why?
And here's today's podcast picture.
Real quick side note. People who talk your ear off, and then you don't know, and then you're like... Some people you enjoy when they talk your ear off, because you're like, oh, interesting stuff. And then other times you hear like, oh, I'm hearing the same story for the 12th time. Okay. Podcast picture. Oh, yeah, we talked about the succulents at Niles at some coffee place. I think this coffee place just recently reopened. But, well, maybe not. So check that out at MikesDailyPodcast.com.
Yes, I love technology.
I've spent weeks trying to find this song.
But I still love technology. Always and forever.
Basil likes the song, too. Yes.
That's enough. Put down the mic.
No, I've got some more stuff to talk about coffee.
He forgot his latte.
Yes, Basil, that's true. That's true, Basil, that's true. Oh, one other coffee thing.
Would you like some coffee?
Because a little bit of that is wonderful, isn't it? I guess that's pretty much all I have for today's show. Oh, I had a list for my last show, and I lost it while getting off of BART. It's somewhere floating around Fremont. Which, by the way, now you can take the BART to Berryessa. There's a stop. I think Milpitas is in between. So it goes Fremont, Warm Springs, Milpitas, and Berryessa. I want to take a little trip to Berryessa sometime and just see what it's like in Berryessa. So now you hear the electronic voice woman who hasn't changed in 50 years go, Berryessa, 2 minutes. Oh, it's always 8-car train, Berryessa, 2 minutes. So, or you hear this one. I used to be able to get these.
Shall we play a game?
That's the robot voice you hear. That's scary. So I wonder if somebody finds this lost list that I had yesterday for yesterday's show and goes, what the huh? What is going on with this thing? Okay. All right. Here's what I meant to talk about on the last list is the YouTube ingenues.
That's terrible.
There's so many YouTube ingenues now. Young people that start playing the piano really good, or they take a... It's usually I went Russian all of a sudden.
I say it's better to get along with Russia than not.
They take usually a classic rock song, and then they cover it, and
Are you out of your mind?
they make it. This young person, he knows a classic rock song that their baby boomer grandfather liked when he had hair. He was a long hair, now he's a no hair. And they go, oh. But let me tell you about the new normal, which I hate that expression. And when I hear that expression, I want to go,
I'm not going to take this anymore!
Is that I love the car. I love the empty cars, the empty BART cars. I totally disinfect myself when I get off. I'm bathing in, hand sanitizer. Which, by the way, you're supposed to do for like 20 seconds. Which, by the way, what the heck? So coronavirus can live for up to 3 days on certain surfaces. And then I saw somewhere that plastic was it. But I'm done looking at websites that try to, Mike's looking up how long coronavirus can last. And so why is this here? Oh. That's how we are in society. We're under pressure. I never saw that before. I can dig it.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
So what we're doing is we're under pressure. But I guess that's more fitting, talking about that in today's world. No, but then the BART cars are empty, so you don't have to social distance when nobody's in there to social distance from. And then they say the coronavirus can last for up to 3 days, but make sure, double check that with the John Hopkins thing. John Hopkins. It's a Fred Hopkins. And then double check that with the CDC. And then everything will be cool. And then you'll know for sure. Because I think I've seen it lives up to, John Hopkins, lives up to 3 days. And to wrap this show up, because of all the coronavirus and the new normal,
It's time to stop, okay?
I hate to say that. The digital society is increasing. The whole Amazon, the whole watching things through the Zoom, talking to each other, YouTube, etc. Which, by the way, you can see a little clip from today's podcast and yesterday's podcast on my YouTube page, youtube.com/MikesDailyPodcast. 5 to 8% of people had coronavirus back in March and didn't know they had it. And where did Mike pull this information from? I can't tell you. But that could or could not be true. Maybe something in the gray area is true. Amazon and the Fed are like the only things really surviving with the coronavirus, the COVID market. Amazon's doing so well. The Fed, we have all that going on. The Fed giving us money. The Fed going, people really depend on us now. And I'd like to wrap up. What's this say? That's the one thing I hate about the face mask. And they say when you're done wearing your face mask for the day, you should wash it, discard it, or if you want to use it again, put it somewhere in the house where nobody goes, outside perhaps, for like 3 days. Because that might have the coronavirus on it for 3 days. That seems to be the consensus from what I've seen. The coronavirus can live up to 3 days. And then, once that has gone past, it's probably dead and you can wear the mask again. That's so easy. Ta-da. In our endemic, not a pandemic world, because this is apparently going to be with us for a long time. One last thing to wrap up the show with. Budget rent-a-car, forget it. Don't use it. Oh my gosh, my lovely lady friend tried to just use it. Let's just say you have to absolutely have a credit card if you want to use Budget. And that doesn't really work for every single person, does it? Look who's outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Podcaster Valley Mont today, the last place on earth. Here at Cafe. Anyway. Oh, Mike Matthews is selling Shoehart gift shop supervisor. I like Blossom. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, it's been great being on your show today.
Oh, behave. Yeah.
And that's all I've got to say.
Something must be wrong with you.
Thank you, John Deere. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Thanks for listening to episode 2073.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!